I'm gonna use. I want to use all those advantage to regain strain.
It's a good idea.
Because I spent like 6.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Sorry, is the blue value strain, right?
Yeah, blue is strain. Yes.
All right. And the triumph. Can I knock him into his brother so they both fall down?
That might be a little much for the triumph, just because like knockdown is something you could spend a triumph on for the single character.
Right.
But I think that maybe you could, maybe not knock down, maybe I could add some other effect to them, like perhaps ensnared.
I'm just gonna knock one of them down.
Okay.
Why don't you just say that you miss the guy you're aiming for, but your like follow through hits the brother and the brother gets knocked down.
You could knock down one of them easy. That's definitely a triumph we can give you.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna knock down the one who's already dazed.
Okay. Alright, he gets knocked down. Add that little marker for him. He's not having a good day. He's not having a good day.
Dash comes running in.
Yeah, so now, Dash, you come bolting in. You can spend a maneuver to obviously get within range. You're within short range. One of the Gamorreans is like on the ground, tangled up in like a bunch of the tent that it brought down on himself, and also Kin kicked his leg out, and the other one is standing like looks injured, but is getting ready to like attack Kin. I think this one right here.
Well, I'm gonna attack the one that's standing over here.
Okay. So it's a short range. It's a short range shot. You're gonna use one of your weapons, right? You're gonna use.
I only have one, so I'll use the one.
All right, it's a short range shot, so just a average dice, or just I'm sorry, a single purple dice against your roll.
That's rolling the short range skill, or
no, just click on the weapon. The weapon has a roll on it.
In between critical
and combat, yeah.
Hey, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's 9 damage. You have 2 advantage.
I'll use the 1 advantage to recover your strain. So.
Okay, absolutely. Man, he is just barely standing.
And I guess I'll pass a advantage on to the next person that acts after me.
Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jordan, I'm gonna use the advantage from the previous roll as well to recover strain.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. I anticipated that. Cool. So you're gonna pass a blue dice on. He's just barely standing. He's limping now. But he sees his brother, who is fallen and tangled up, and he's gonna see if he wants to defend his brother or not. Let's see here if he cares enough to defend his brother. He doesn't have this, so I'm just gonna write it in. Discipline. I think I spelled that incorrectly. Y'all can make fun of me later. So, he doesn't have any interest in defending his brother from this. So he is going to spend both of his maneuvers to get the hell out. He doesn't want any part of this. He goes running away like a pig.
Get him, Dash.
What do I do?
Get him, Dash.
I want to shoot him. How do I do that?
So, he has to spend a maneuver to stand up. His brother has abandoned him. So, he's going to see... He's also dazed, if we recall here. So, he's not... He's confused. And possibly scared. We will see how scared he is.
Can't really use another maneuver.
1 step back on all skill checks. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading slightly dazed again. So
he was the one who had the cannot voluntarily suffer strain, right?
No,
yes.
That's the other one.
No, he's the one that has... Oh, no, it was the other one. I'm sorry.
Alright, so he should not be able to run that far.
Yeah, because
if he fails on the check here, we'll see. He gets a setback dice. Pull up the dice pool here. Gets a setback dice.
You gonna attack me?
We will see. We will see if he will attack you or if he'll just run away. Yeah, you know what? He's in it. He's enraged. He takes 2 strain, which for him.
I'm just I'm gonna use coordination dodge. I'm
Okay.
gonna spend 1 destiny points to add 4 failures to his check.
Okay. Good. Go ahead and spend the destiny point for me.
All right. So where is it? I can't. All right. Over here. Use that side.
So, oh God, what is the? If I knew the API well enough, I could put like 4F. Is that what it is? Maybe. We'll see if that's what it is. I think F is failure.
I think
API. Okay, so he's going to roll his average check against you.
Failure, yeah.
He gets the setback dice, obviously, because he's dazed. And he's going to roll his crude Gamorrean vibroaxe at you. And fail. So,
nice.
he gains a load of advantage, which is hilarious. So with the 4 failures, unfortunately, on his roll, but that isn't even what made it miss. You just easily duck out of the way, and he just goes spinning, and he hacks into the tent again. Because he has so much advantage, the axe doesn't get ripped out of his hand. But he, man, that's a lot of failures. He missed by more than a long shot, I would say.
Yeah.
So that being said, his turn is now over, and it is one PC's turn.
Can I take it?
No, I need to chase after this dude. He's gonna get away.
True. Are you gonna fire at him from there? Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna run up to the stairs and before having close range, then shoot at him again.
Okay. So it's a short range shot from there.
Yep. Sorry, Jax. This shouldn't be a missed opportunity. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a short range shot. Go ahead, roll it whenever you're ready. Oof. Yeah. So you trip and you stumble over the Oh, you know what? You get a blue dice. Do me a favor, because you pass the blue dice to yourself technically in this scenario. So I'm gonna roll a blue dice and we'll see. Hey, look, you got a success. Cool.
I'm going to pass the free other advantage to the next person again, so they have 4 advantage.
Yeah. So you can pass 1 blue dice to 1 person.
Can I pass the next one to one to Jackson, one to Kin? For a second, forgot the name.
Yeah, so you can spend 1 advantage to pass it to the next person, and then 2 advantage to pass it to a specific player. Yeah. So okay. Jackson, Kin, you each get 1 blue dice on your turn. But your damage, your shot hits the Gamorrean in the back, and he slides forward in the sand, and is immobile at this time.
Yeah. By the way, my gun's on stun, so the thing is, yeah, he's not dead. For me, he's stunned.
Good.
So we have to drag him or something.
He's stunned then. All right. So who's the next PC to go? Both of you get a blue dice, and both of you get to go.
I'll go. Yeah. Jax would spin around the corner to try and take aim at the guy, and then seeing he's down, just point both his guns at the one who just missed Kin, and I will fire. Right. I will aim once for free.
Okay, got it.
But because I did the little maneuver, I'm not going to suffer any strain to do it again. So I just get the 1 blue dice.
Okay. All right. It's a short range shot, so not that hard.
Yeah.
I will actually. This is something I forgot to do last time. I'm gonna upgrade it though. I should have kept that upgrade last time. Now that I realize, because he's in combat with Kin, and something bad could always happen.
They weren't the first time.
True. Good point. They hadn't actually done anything yet. Good point. But this time they are.
Using both guns, so you should increase the difficulty as well.
So it is an average check.
Yeah, actually, no. You know what? Don't increase. I'm gonna suffer 2 strain using guns blazing to not increase the difficulty.
Okay. So take the 2 strain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you get the blue dice from Dash as well. So you have 2 blue dice.
Yeah.
And it's an easy check with an upgrade. Go for it.
All right. Where's my button?
Don't hit me.
Yeah.
No worries. He did not hit you. So, yeah. How much is that? Good lord. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. With
Two
Pierce
pairs.
2. Yeah, no, that is more than enough to.
I'll recover 4 strength.
He finally throws the tent off of him, and he brings his axe, and he's got a bead on you, Ken, and then we just see the and then he just like drops his axe and topples over in front of you, and we just see Jax with like blaster smoking, finishing all of that. So while you all figure out what you're gonna do with those 2 bodies, I want to talk to our other players here for a moment. So, I noticed in chat, Zian and Mouse, you guys were having a bit of a conversation about what to do next, right? So let's play that out for a second.
How'd you do the orange like typey thing in
type /me
/em or me?
Yeah. Just like World of Warcraft.
And you have to choose who you're speaking as from Dropbox below.
Yeah, so if you type /me, it will say your name and then
is
So Ziana Mouse. So yes. the 2 of you, after the 3 scoundrels leave, the 2 of you are having rational conversation at the bar.
Yeah.
Also
trying to figure out where to rent a speeder and get some supplies.
Yeah. So also, Mouse. What I didn't tell you is the hut did ask about you.
Me specifically?
Well, they told the hut that they had a woman waiting for them outside, and he asked how beautiful she was. So there was that. I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that happened as a person.
Oh yeah, he was trying to hit on her.
As a person, I wanted you to make sure that you were aware of that.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I was not privy to that conversation, though.
No, and I doubt they told you, because they're smarter than that. So, Ziana Mouse, you all are, the 2 of you are sitting at the bar now, as in any good space western or...
Actually, we went to talk to the bartender.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is as in any good space western or any fantasy game ever, the bartender's always the guy to talk to, right? So you'll recall that this bartender here, he serves like the common folk that are around here. There is the Hunter's Lodge that's up there that has another bartender as well, but this bartender probably has a lot more like local knowledge. So you go up to him, and he I would say that he probably recognizes you as being part of the parties that were in here, because remember Mai's team came in, and well, Mouse, you don't, but I'm telling you, Mai's team came in and your team came in, and you were having kind of like this weird stare off in the corner while Jax and Mai talked over here at this bar. So he probably recognized you as being like a part of that crew. And so with that being said, he offers you guys a drink. You guys get, whatever you want to drink, and I assume
grain whiskey.
Yeah, harsh grain whiskey, which is basically all there is here on Tatooine. That and water sometimes.
There's blue milk.
There is blue milk. Yes, that is true. So, Zian, do you start the conversation? Mouse, do you start the conversation with the bartender?
Yeah, I just try to get his attention very politely and politely ask if he knows where we could find like a speeder rental or supplies for the crate dragon hunt.
Mouse is very nervous right now.
Yes,
just in general.
Yes, Mister. I think that there are some places here. There's a rental. If you go to this address, and he kind of like writes it down. And so he gives you 2 locations that are actually located, believe it or not, on this map.
Okay. Perfect.
So the trading post, which you guys I don't think discovered yet, but it is. I'm going to point to it with my arrow so you guys can see. The trading post is right here. Okay.
Okay.
So this has a lot of like general materials, general supplies for going on excursions, that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
But he also tells you that if you go to the outpost center, which is right here, they can see about renting you a speeder. This is generally where you would go to rent a speeder. And then he probably also tells you there's a couple of other interesting locations that hunters typically come here to go to, besides the Hunter's Lodge, right? There is also a workshop area that is up here for, like performing basic maintenance and services on your droids, for maybe acquiring parts and stuff for your speeders, etc., followed by the hangar, which is right next to it.
Okay.
So that's another place that hunters or travelers or whoever might come and need to go see before anything happens.
All right. Well, I will thank him.
Jordan, can we have control over that Gamorrean so we can drag him around?
You know what? Sure. Nothing would make me happier than for you to have control over this Gamorrean to drag him around to all the places.
Like, do we have to roll for it, or?
I mean,
No,
so like
Kin...
two things. Kin can carry it, certainly. He's not gonna have a problem with that. There.
It's mine.
Congratulations.
Mine.
I
fucking stunned get away.
So, do you ask him anything else while you're sitting there?
No.
Okay.
Not me.
So you guys are finishing your drinks off and getting ready to go kind of out. This individual who's sitting at the table behind you, he comes up next to you, and he slams some credits onto the bar.
Oh, God.
And he says,
Mouse jumps like almost out of her skin.
He says, "Another, barkeep." And he turns to look at you, and he kind of like he raises his head a little bit and looks down his nose at you. And the kid looks like a boy, probably no older than 16 or 17. And you can tell that he's got a slug thrower on his back. He's clearly got like a pack as well. He looks he's got a dust cloak and like a hood to put over his face for the sandstorms and stuff. And as well, you can tell he's got like an old blaster pistol in his holster. You can tell it's old because all the paint is like chipped away and the grip is like fraying at the seams, right? And as he looks at you, he says, "I wouldn't be going out there if I were you. It's too dangerous for the likes of you. You don't look like you're used to the elements yet."
I kind of like raise my eyebrow at him because there's like this weather-beaten old man face staring at him.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of elements are you talking about? I'm used to a lot of elements, mostly space, but...
He says, "Well,
space is my favorite element."
Well,
space.
Just know that if you go out there, it's dangerous. Wouldn't want to see you guys get hurt or anything.
Yes, I believe it is dangerous.
It sounds like a threat, but also it's not very threatening.
Well, thanks for caring about us, mister. I mean, man, I was really worried when I first came here that... Sorry.
Good. So you won't go.
I was really worried that when I first came...
No, we're absolutely going.
People were gonna be really mean.
Well,
you know.
You guys don't look like much competition anyway. And right at that point, like...
Is that so?
The bartender, like, puts his drink down, and he, like... It's whiskey, and he, like, slams it, and he keeps his eyes closed for a moment too long, and then he slams the glass back down on the table and marches off without saying another word.
Sorry, Dash.
That guy seemed really nice.
Hey, Dash.
What?
Can you roll a discipline check for me?
Sure.
I'll kind of just like shrug to Mouse, and I don't think that's what he was. I don't think he was being very nice.
Sorry,
I think he's a poor kid who's trying to act tough.
Really? I mean, he like said he was concerned about us and everything.
I jump, not expecting the fucking thing to happen.
Seems very appropriate.
Fuck you, kid. You're a piece of shit. Oh, crap.
So Zian and Mouse, you have the conversation about how like no, that kid wasn't like he doesn't know his fucking boots from his shoes.
Why am I getting Matt vibes from that kid?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just stuck in Wheel of Time land right now.
You are. You've been stuck in Wheel of Time land for quite some time now.
Randland, sorry.
There you go. So do the two of you wait for the other group to go out and find supplies, or do you go yourself?
No, I'm gonna say, well, shall we go check out the trading post?
Yeah, let's do it.
We need to figure out what we might need for an extended trip.
Did we get any pay on the last planet at all after we were done with our thing, or not?
Yeah.
What I mean,
No, I'm not after the last.
was there anything you guys were doing for pay? I'm confused.
No.
No, not since the fish mission.
This mission is going to be the one that pays, if we're being completely honest.
Okay, I was wondering, because I don't really have a lot of cash.
Yeah, Ian's got money. So let's jump back while the two of them travel to the trading post briefly. Let's jump back to the three ne'er-do-wells.
Where's the door to get in here?
It's right there. It's just closed. Hold on, let me open it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me.
Where am I?
I'll open the three doors. And begin your perusing. So the three of you, the only thing I really noticed was Kin crushing the Gamorrean's head. Also, can somebody ask what voice changer you use?
What? Sorry, what?
Somebody asked what voice changer you use.
Clownfish.
Clownfish, there you go.
It's free and it's, yeah.
So the three of you, having dealt with the Gamorreans, obviously they have their crude, like, Gamorrean vibro axes, which are probably not really worth a whole lot. They're not even worth carrying them around, more than likely. They do have quite a bit of, like, dust gear, but it's also very big and bulky. Like, Kin, maybe you could wear it, but it would still drag. Wouldn't drag on the ground, but, like, it'd be way too much fabric around you, and also, I don't know if you want to wear fabric around you. You need to be shiny, right? That's the whole point, is you need to be shiny. But why don't the three of you roll me, and I'm gonna make it an easy check, or I'm gonna make it an average check. But what kind of check do I want it to be? That's a really good question. There's no loot skill in this game, but I think that
I would say, because of the nature of the takedown and it being kind of back alley-ish, maybe skullduggery would work.
I was actually thinking streetwise, to know where some ne'er-do-wells would hide some things on their person. So why did the three of you? Why don't you roll me a streetwise check?
By the way, I would like a black dice from recently being strucken up with by what just happened.
Okay. Sure. Roll Dash. Okay. Yeah, you take a strain as well, Dash, and Kin, you take a strain, but you're not super good at, like, finding things on bodies, right? It's not your skill, really.
I like the idea that Jax is looking through one and Dash is looking through the one that doesn't have a head anymore, and that's where the strain comes from.
Basically.
So like, I am shocked by what Dash just saw happen.
Yeah. So you each.
Kin actually has newfound respect. He kind of smiles. Dash going through the bodies.
What is
not smiles? But
I was gonna say, what does Kin's smile look like? That would be interesting to know.
I mean, he does have eyebrows now, so
fair.
Eyebrows go up and down.
And dashes are starting to come back in now as well. So we have a full complement of eyebrows again. So you each find something. So Jax, you find a communicator on one of them, and when you like go to the communicator, you look at the frequency, because again, this is Star Wars, so everything's kind of analog. You look at the frequency and you recognize it to be a frequency that is used commonly by the Arcana Syndicate.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Did you guys just fucking Goomba stomp Arcanus goons?
Sorry, they totally came after me. I'm not sure why.
They aggressed first.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna have to fight him at the tent.
Dash, you find a wadded up like piece of paper in the older brother. The darker brother was the older brother, in the older brother's pocket. And as you unroll it, Dash, you see that it has a couple of names on it. And you're not super sure, but you were the one who identified that one big game hunter's name, right? It was Leevelo. What was his name?
Yeah, Leevelo.
Larvo, sorry.
Larvo, yeah.
Yeah, Larvo Neilnern. So you identify Larvo Neilnern's name. There's a couple of other names there, and then you see at the bottom, like hastily scribbled, it says "fresh meat?" ? Right? Which is clearly indicating you guys, like the group of you. But there are 3 names. I've given you one of them, Larvos. There is a couple of others, however. So one of the other names is... Pull this guy. All right. I should typically have my notes up at all times, but I'm also terrible at this, so you know. So one of the names is Pem Merkaz. And another one of the names is She Duds. So those 2 names are on there, as well as Larvos, and then the fresh meat at the bottom. So there's 4 total
Larvo's
entries.
Last name, because I was
Neilnern. It's Larvo Neilnern.
Cool. I was copying it down, and then it disappeared.
Yep, no problem. Larvo Neilnern is so that's the big game hunter. That's the Rhodian, who has all of the trophies in the Hunter's Lodge, and also has the big like long rifle on his back, right? And he's the weird cowboy dude, right? And he's got like the cowboy hat and the leather vest, and you know, Star Wars.
Is it just a piece of paper with names, or
yeah? Mm-hmm.
And we don't know who the other 2 are.
Yeah, you only know who that one is. But based on the fact that it has his name and it has your names, you could probably deduce that this is big game, like a list of big game hunters, right? Cool. So what are the 3 of you doing with those 2 bodies?
We should hide them.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think we hide them in this tent. In this tent thing that they kind of destroyed.
Make it look like
Take the bodies to Wooher. He likes to grind them up.
Oh. For a second I thought it was someone we knew, and I was like, I don't remember this. And then I was like, oh wait, never mind, I know who that is. I think what we'd want to do is try Jax, being a, you know, having done things like this before, trying to arrange it to make it look like maybe they had a falling out.
Sure, like there's a fight, like maybe cut a couple of them with their own axes, and
yeah,
sure, absolutely.
Also,
yeah, what's up?
But I would try and help also, but I would say maybe in my case a hardship and under black ties, because this is kind of like morally questionable for me right now.
Yeah, it sure is.
So if you were gonna help and you weren't gonna be able to give skilled help, Jax would just straight up be like, "Don't worry, I got this."
Okay.
Yeah, Kim will help lifting.
Okay, that should just.
So I think that, I think that this is skullduggery, Jax. The mischief, well. the disguising the bodies of of having a falling out. Now, the disadvantage here is the fact that that they have blaster rounds in them, right? Like that's the disadvantage. So unless you wanted to leave a blaster with them to explain that, it's going to make the check a little bit harder, obviously.
Yeah, which Jax would do that.
Okay, do you have a blaster to just like leave with them?
I have my secondary blaster.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
but,
so
it means nothing to Jax, and in this situation, I think he would 100%.
Yeah, so I'll reduce the check from a hard to an average. I'm gonna upgrade it once. But I'm gonna give you a boost dice because you know how to hide bodies because this is Tatooine.
Yeah. Cool.
Now Dash, if you don't like, if Jax doesn't want your assistance, Kin, you could assist with this. But you just have to tell me how, like what you would be doing to assist.
Well, mostly I'm just I'm strong enough to position the bodies, exactly where Jax tells me.
Okay, cool. I like it. I'll add a boost dice for that as well. So Jax, why don't you roll me a skullduggery check?
Cool.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're able to, exactly, like, people get into fights commonly on Tatooine, right? And you know that when that happens, bodies show up, and that's just kind of the way of the world here on Tatooine. So you know how to do that all properly.
Can I use the number of success? Like, I have quite a lot of success and advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make it so that, like, as we're moving them, like, we have Kin, like, punch them in their blaster? Actually, no, because never mind. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 success is if somebody showed up and did an investigation, they would have to get a better roll than you.
I was gonna try and come up with a way where I could keep my blaster because of use those, like, the amount of success or advantage to mask the blaster burns. But then that's how I got the check to be what it was, so I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's the deal is, like, if somebody were to come in, like, if they cared enough to investigate, somebody would have to get a better roll than you because it would be a contested roll, right?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good roll, and that's Arcanus probably isn't going to try that hard to figure out why.
So we didn't really get anything from those guys.
Marine thugs.
Jax, he found the communicator.
Got a few games.
So is that all we find? The communicator and the name, no credits.
The only, yeah, you probably find some credits. They spent most of them at the bar, but you probably find 150 credits on them between the two of them.
I say we split it into 3. So that's like what, 50 each?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the 50.
Okay. So the 3 of you divvy up the credits from your highway robbery. Dash, add another conflict for me though. For taking credits off of dead Gamorreans. But yeah, cool. So you guys are free to move about the cabin again. And I'll jump over right before we go to our break here. I'll jump back over to the 2 legal citizens of the universe. The ones who are not committing felonies against Arcanus.
Really
not a felony. This is a place of felony.
Sorry, I did have a question.
Yeah.
The communicator has Arcana's codes.
Uh-huh.
Can I tell from my history with Arcanus that it was given to them? Because for all we know, they could be, like, using it to, like, listen to the Arcanus things to figure out who the hunters are that they want to potentially...
I think that depends on, like, it would be hard to tell how somebody used something in Star Wars, right? But what you could do is, like, wait for it to crackle on, right? And see if somebody's talking to them or if it's just picking up on traffic.
Yeah, cool. I'll do that. Cheers.
Yeah, that's probably, like, the best way to find out what they were using it for. So, Zian and Mouse, you all enter the trading post, and you recognize this individual from the Hunter's outpost. This individual right here with the red hair.
Okay.
He's got, like, the big rucksack that's very, very tall and large. He also was working on, when he was in the bar, he was working on that droid arm. Kind of at the end of the bar, and I forget who it was that tried to talk to him, but he kind of blew him off because that's what he does. And in here, he appears to be, like, picking through some of the, like, scraps and pieces and, like, picking them up, and he uses this, like, little monocle telescope thingy, like, kind of like a jeweler's eye almost. And he looks, and you can tell he's, like, evaluating the pieces and, like, test their strength, and he'll either, like, shove it into like a basket or whatever that he's carrying around to buy stuff with.
He blew off Mouse specifically for being curious about his metallic arm.
That sounds correct, yes.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry, Mouse.
So, and then the woman who's behind the counter, she's right here. As you enter, she says, "Oh, hello. How can I help you? Are you looking for anything that I can help you find today?"
And I presumably they have some sort of, like, just for sake of ease of gameplay, there's some way to like get a like package for X amount of days out in the desert.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So basically inquire about that and like what supplies are needed
to
survive in the desert.
Definitely a thing. So she starts writing down all of the different things. Like, she probably says, well, you know, some protective clothing is important. If you don't have some already, you seem well equipped. She motions to Zian because you have like a sort of cloak and hood. I right?
do.
And she's like, but you also know any mechanical items you bring, if you get caught in a sandstorm, it might cause them to malfunction. So plenty of oil and stuff like that. And she probably says, you know, obviously you'll need food and water. That's a given. And in addition to that, she probably says, like, depending on how far you want to go, you won't get very far on foot unless you plan on camping out. And if you plan on camping out overnight, you might want like warm clothes as well, because it's a desert, so it gets super cold at night because it's Tatooine, right? Doesn't hold any heat in the ground. So she says, you know, you'll probably want stuff to make a fire, or you'll probably want stuff to, you know, have light in the darkness.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she kind of says as well, she's like, and you'll probably want weapons. There are dangerous creatures, and, well, the sand people, they don't really take kindly to people trespassing across the dunes ever.
Okay. I mean,
so
we're covered on weapons.
We're good on weapons. We might need some clothing. What about how much for like food supplies and maybe like a tent or something?
Yeah, absolutely. A tent would certainly be something that you would probably want to.
And then I'm guessing we have like supplies on the ship that can be prepared by the ship, but not out in the field.
Right.
So if we for example land in one of the designated areas and we come back to the ship, we should be fine. But if we stay out, we need something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's fair. Like if you stay out for like more than the amount of food that you're able to like, you know, create in the ship, because the ship probably produces enough for like each day for all the crew members, like the crew capacity. So she probably says to you that you'll also probably want like either stim packs or med kits as well, which are pretty standard. But I think that for excuse me, for for like supplies, if you wanted to spend the whole 2 weeks or a week or whatever, it's probably not that expensive. Water is the big thing, right? Like water's the expensive part of the deal. But if you tell her like you've got a crew of 4 and you'll be doing XYZ, she's probably like 100 credits for enough supplies to last you for the 2 weeks.
For the 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that expensive.
Yeah, I'll probably just pick that up and see if somebody can deliver it to the ship, if that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. They can have a runner bring it all to the ship.
And what about like a durable tent? Or something in case we're stuck out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So tents are actually a thing.
And then I'm just gonna have the party reimburse me stuff if we need.
Yeah, I mean they just made some money, so
I know what you're talking about.
Spent 100. 2.5.
Yeah, so a tent is 100 credits as well.
Okay, we'll pick up a tent too.
Yeah, and then like as far as like you know, breath mask, you could just use a piece of cloth. It's not really that big a deal unless you were like going into some poisonous atmosphere.
Goggles, just in case.
Yeah. So the other things you might want to consider are like climbing gear, backpacks, the thermal cloak, right? That would cover both ends of the spectrum, for hot or cold. Lanterns or glow rods or anything like that. Obviously,
I think we have
I think
I have a fusion lantern. So
yeah, I think the group of you have some. Yeah, for sure. And you asked about goggles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think that goggles are not like scanner goggles, which are way different, are 150. So I would say like they're probably like 25 credits a piece if you wanted some goggles, to like so you could see in a sandstorm or if the wind was blowing or whatever.
All right, we'll put that on a maybe.
Okay.
What about the thermal cloaks?
Thermal cloaks are 200 a piece, so they are.
Oh, geez,
they are.
I can't.
Yeah, they are expensive.
Can't do that. And actually, let me negotiate to see if I can drop the price down.
Yeah,
I forgot that that's a thing.
Totally, yeah, 100% it is. So I didn't know if you wanted to get like a total price before you.
Yeah, price for now. I was kind of saying what I'm buying and what I'm trying to do at the same time is whatever, so.
Yeah, so the deal is, I think all of you have, like, Mouse, what kind of armor? You just wear, like, heavy clothing as your armor, right?
Yeah, I have, like, pit crew overalls.
Yeah, so, like, the only problem with the pit crew overalls is it doesn't really protect your head or your face, but don't you have goggles?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have goggles, so you'd be good there. Essentially, anybody that's wearing anything less than, like, heavy clothing is going to have a problem with, like, sand and heat. Both ways, right?
Just quick.
What about Dash? Since he kind of switched up things, he still has his jacket and all, but
don't you have heavy clothing?
Yeah.
What's have padded armor?
Didn't I trade that in? I don't remember. No, I didn't trade in my jacket.
You got something that was like a slight tier above whatever you had already.
Yeah, I kind of got something like a flat jacket, so I still have my.
Alright, well everybody check to see what your armor is and see if you have anything that's under heavy armor, and then we'll come back and get those per who needs it if they need it.
Yeah, heavy clothing, yeah.
Which is
the lowest.
I have a great cloak that can be used to resist.
No, you don't. You don't. You sold your great cloak in the first session to buy.
No, that was the.
Oh, no, that was your rifle. That was your rifle.
Okay, so you're good.
Yeah.
I'm good because I have my.
Someone can borrow that if they need.
My robe.
I've got my trench cloak and I've got goggles.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
So you guys sound pretty well equipped clothing wise.
Yeah. I'll just keep this.
Do you want to roll a negotiation against this woman?
Yes, unless there's anything else you think we could use from her specifically. I think parts and oil we can find at the other shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that was mostly just narrative too. You don't have to like buy oil for Kin. Obviously, he has like self-repairing units that will help him.
No, the oils for actually, never mind.
I meant my inventory
for buffing him and making him look shiny.
I do have a couple stim packs already, so I think we're good on those.
Yeah.
I have,
and I can heal.
I have a stim pack, I think, as well.
I don't have any stim packs.
I don't have any stim packs.
Well, I can also just straight up heal.
Yeah,
so
true. He is a space wizard. Yeah, because that's the disadvantage, right? Is Kin has to use completely different items. You can't just mess whatever you guys have.
I can heal Kin.
So if you want to negotiate with her, you have to remember this is a
wily old outpost trader.
Yeah, exactly. And she probably works for Arcanus in some degree, right? Like everybody works for Arcanus that runs a shop here. So I'm making it a hard check.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add a black dice just because you're unfamiliar with the way that Tatooine operates in general. But I think you have something to remember.
I would like. I think I do. No, not for negotiation.
Okay.
But I would like to also try to influence her to make her like me a little bit more.
Sure.
Maybe drop that check difficulty down.
Sure.
I don't think I want to control emotion or a belief. I think I just want to give like positive emotions to make her like me.
Cool.
If you think that would be enough to get the
I think that with a significant enough check, you could change her mind. So why don't you roll the influence? We'll see what it comes up with. Oof.
Okay.
It's good that you have 3 dice.
Yeah. So I will only use the positive, but I'll still take the conflicts for like using a generated, like actually using the whole pool in a way. So
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair because like it's like it's still influencing somebody to get what you want, not for the greater good, right?
Yeah. So I want to. What is it? A positive emotion, friendliness.
Friendliness. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's the most appropriate.
Yeah, and I think that she was already almost there anyway. Like she likes seeing newcomers in her shop because it means she makes more money. But she is a wily old trader, so I'll drop it down to an average check for you.
Perfect.
So why don't you go ahead and roll that
mention
negotiation?
Something.
Yeah, go for it.
I've had this toolkit and utility belt all this time, and I don't know if we've mentioned it when doing mechanical checks on my ship.
Well, the utility belt just adds encumbrance, right?
What about the toolkit?
Go ahead and roll the negotiation if you want.
Okay.
I'm just mentioning if we haven't taken it into account through mechanic checks.
Yeah, so you certainly you succeed, right? She's going to drop the price. It's only one success, so she'll probably take like let's say 10% off for you.
Okay.
Because you're a nice, friendly new customer, and she's hoping that you'll come back, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, first time, 10% off, new customer bonus, right?
Yep. Okay. So that would be what makes it 180 for the tent and the supplies.
Yeah, I think we were at 200, so 180 for the tent and supplies. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I gotta put notes on here. Couple conflict. 3 conflict seems appropriate. And then.
So just so you know, Dash, the toolkit it allows you to perform mechanics checks on stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Yeah, but it can also be used to heal droids with mechanics checks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yay.
So that's why it's important.
Yeah, I have it.
By the way, could I make the logical sense that some of the tools I have put on my utility belt? Could I?
I mean, yeah, you can keep them wherever. Like, so it exists within your encumbrance, and because your encumbrance is like your utility belt includes your encumbrance, you could say that your utility belt just has your tools in it. Yes. So
yeah. It's funny how Dash has been walking around with tools on his belt and no one's said anything. But then again, I realized that even Mouse is probably like that.
So I don't know what the other 3 of you were doing up here because I wasn't watching, so I'm sure it's nothing good.
Think
it looks like Kin's the only one that moved. Good.
Yeah.
So after shaking hands on the deal that you've made, Zian, you have enough supplies for everyone for the 2 weeks, so you won't have to worry about starving unless you get lost or stranded or whatever, right? That might be the problem. And you have a tent to protect you from the elements at night that all of you will be. It's big enough for all of you to stay inside. Obviously, it won't protect from like animals or creatures, but it will at least protect you from the elements. So great. Yeah. So now, that seems like a great place to take our break, though. Before we do anything else, it seems like a great place to take our break. Even though Jax is running around like a madman.
I was trying to find people, but I'll just go back to.
No, fine.
I'm just gonna go back to here.
So we're gonna take our break here, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Let's be back at we'll take a 13-minute break. We'll be back at 20 after. Sound good to everybody?
Cool.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Cool. Back then. Don't fall asleep, Mouse.
I will try.
Okay.